Okay, we'll call that. So what are we up to, mate?
When you're ready.
Okay. Right, Robert, how you going?
I'm good, thanks.
Okay, and just for the record, you're Robert Mast.
I'm Robert Mast.
And you're from Badu Island, and you actually carved this lino print beside you?
Yes, I did.
And you own the story? It's part of your culture?
Well, I don't actually own the story, but there's a few versions, and I tell one in sort of, a lot of people know about the story, but people tell it in there. So I'd say the story comes from the island.
Yeah, okay.
It's just how people say it.
So probably the right word for me to describe this is that you are a custodian of the story.
Yes.
All right, so you're a traditional custodian of the story.
Yes.
So what's the story that goes with this painting?
Well, it's called mutuk. I'll tell you the story, and then mutuk will come to you as in the end.
Okay, yeah.
What mutuk is. Well, mutuk was a name of representative of this bloke here in the shop.
Mm-hmm.
He used to be one of the best hunters and gatherers on the island. Whatever he went out to get, he always succeeded. But the thing that was about mutuk was he didn't know how to share his catches. So
right.
the elders and of the island got a bit mad with him. One time he was out fishing. He caught a big size snapper, and when he was pulling it in, it came off the hook and went back into water. So he dived after it, and he got swallowed up by this shark. He went straight into the mouth, and this shark was actually sent by the sorcerers and the elders who were actually very mad with him.
Right.
So anyway, he didn't die. He was in the belly of the shark, and he was in there for about 3 days, and he felt the water go cold, so he thought, oh, we must be in deep water. And then he felt the water go warm, so he thought, oh, we must be on top of a reef. So he got his mud mussel shell out and cut himself out of the shark. And when he came out, he found himself, the shark has taken him from Badu, this island here represents Badu, Mobiag there, Buigu. So the shark took him all the way from Badu all the way to Buigu. So he came out at Buigu, but you can't just walk into other islands because it's very territorial back in them days and very like hunting days. So he came out and he went and hid, and he knew that all the women went and got water in the mornings and afternoons, and his sister was married to one of the Buigu warriors. So he waited there until she came out, and this is the coconut containers we make out of coconuts to get water, and he waited there until she appeared, and then he came out and explained what has happened. And she said, no worries, I'll go and tell the elders and make sure you're welcome and all this. So she went back and told the elders that her brother was there, and they said, yeah, welcome, bring him out. So he was at Buigu for a few days, while back on Badu they were making a death feast for him, which he called Terbawai. So they thought he had passed away. Anyway, after a few days, the Buigu people brought him back on their canoe, and when they got to Badu, they just dropped him off, and they went straight back to Buigu. When they were dropping him off, his wife and little kid came running down to the beach to greet him, but at the same time, they told him what has happened. They told him we should go back to Buigu with them, because if our people see you, they're gonna kill you, because we already made a death feast, which is Terbawai. He said, oh, I'll try and explain, and so when the people saw him, they chased him around the island to a point where they caught him out the back, and this is him here, and that's the big club there. They knocked him out and cut his head off, and he turned to stone on the back of the island, which we call mutuk today. And so basically the story is not to be greedy, 'cause you might get turned into stone.
Or you might have your head taken off.
Well, yes.
Yeah, that too, or turned into stone.
So yeah, a lot of these designs around it is associated with what we do or how we go fishing or how we hunt. So we got the stingray there, we got a special spear that we use for stingrays. Trevallies there's different spear we use for trevallies again. I've got seasons down here, what happens in like January, November, December. We have stingrays coming up because we have king ties. We have this special thorny ray, which is my totem, we call it tukmo, that comes up and all the squid that follows with it. And well, this part here this shows the mating season of the turtles. This is when it's roughly about September month, where the birubirus, we call it, the bee eaters, they fly over from New Guinea to Australia, which tells us it's the mating seasons for the turtle. We also got crayfish here and sea snakes. That's in June, July, roughly they mate and everything. And basically the cycle goes the other way, really. This is going back to March and all that, when the Torres Strait pigeon starts to cross the mainland to New Guinea as well, and then it goes back to the cycle as well.
Yeah.
And sorry, I didn't say, when they cut his head off, mutuk, Lord, I got these flying foxes here. They took off from Badu all the way up to Buigu, and they circled around Buigu, and his sister knew straight away that they had killed him. That's why she's crying.
Right, okay, yeah.
And flying fox is the main totems for the Buigu people. So that's the colonel there with the flying fox on the front heading towards us.
So just to be clear on a couple of things that you've said there, because as fascinating as that is, when you said before time, you mean pre-contact that this took place?
Yes.
It's not something that happened a fortnight ago.
No, yeah.
But it's part of your traditional law.
Yes, it's been passed on. That's only because of that stone on the back, which is mutuk.
Yeah.
And that's why we identified the stone, and a lot of the stones around the islands got different stories and different meanings and why are they in place, and it's just been passed down. But yeah, it's a good, I suppose, like, thou shalt not be greedy.
Yeah, thou shalt not be greedy. Yeah, very good. No, well, look, thanks for sharing that, Robert. That's an amazing story, and the story is almost as amazing as the painting, which is almost as amazing as the artist. Yeah. All right. Hopefully you found that interesting today, and we'll take it from there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Robert. Cheers, mate.